Hong Kong's sailing team takes off to a flying start, bagging the city's first gold in this year's national games. Both Beijing and Washington are casting high hopes on tomorrow's meeting between President Xi Jinping and his U.S. counterpart Donald Trump. And we'll take a history walk to Xi'an's Terracotta Warriors Museum to get a glimpse of the ancient warriors. Good evening, you're watching Cable News. I'm Jeremy Zhu. Local sailor Nicholas Halliday triumphed in the men's Ilka 7 class dinghy event in Shanwei, securing Hong Kong's first gold medal at this year's national games, while making history to snatch the city's sailing team's first ever gold medal at the national games. Best Learn has more.
There was definitely no doubt the yellow jacket leader would add one more decoration to his collection after today's regatta, as he topped the standings with a net score of 29 points after finishing 10 rounds yesterday, giving him 6 points clear of the second-place Zhejiang sailor Wang Junlong. The 26-year-old finished fourth in the 11th round of the second stage this afternoon. After deducting his worst finish, he secured the Golden Piece, Hong Kong's first in this year's games, with a net score of 33 points. The reigning Asian champion from 2023 also made history by being the first Hong Kong sailor ever to take the top spot on National Games podium.
It was really tricky all week. This week it was really light winds and really big waves, so it was really hard conditions. It was actually really tough for me. I think I only won one race, but I'm just happy that I was able to be consistently up there the whole time. Yeah, that's what got me the win.
His coach said Halliday has some bigger goals to achieve.
He's doing great so far, and I believe that I don't know if we're gonna make a medal, but we're very close, and I wish we can be ready to win a medal in the Olympics. As it has to do with Asian Games, it seems that so far he's one of the best Asians.
Best Learn Cable News.
President Xi Jinping is scheduled to meet U.S. President Donald Trump in South Korea's Busan tomorrow morning. Beijing expressed hopes that the meeting will provide new guidance and inject new momentum into the stable development of China-U.S. relations. Evelyn Bai reports.
The foreign ministry said, as agreed between China and the U.S., President Xi will meet with his U.S. counterpart, President Donald Trump, in Busan on Thursday to have in-depth communication on strategic and long-term issues concerning China-U.S. relations, as well as major issues of mutual interest. Ministry spokesman Guo Jiakun said Beijing is willing to work together with the U.S. side to ensure the meeting yields positive outcomes, provides new guidance and injects new momentum into the stable development of China-U.S. relations. Speaking with reporters aboard Air Force One, Trump expressed optimism about the upcoming 3-hour meeting with Xi.
Tomorrow morning is the one that most people find most interesting, and I think we're going to have a great meeting with President Xi of China, and a lot of problems are going to be solved. Okay? You're optimistic? Yeah, very optimistic.
Trump also revealed that he might lower the tariffs for China in exchange for Beijing's efforts to curb fentanyl exports. Beijing responded that China sympathizes with the American people for the suffering caused by the fentanyl crisis and has provided assistance and achieved positive results, adding that China remains open to continued cooperation with the U.S., while the U.S. should take concrete actions to create the necessary conditions for bilateral cooperation. Evan Bai, Cable News.
Back to Hong Kong, a family from mainland is mulling a judicial review against the Medical Council of Hong Kong after a long-running complaint about their son's birth injuries was permanently dismissed. The parents believe a medical incident at a private hospital 16 years ago led to their son's cerebral palsy, alleging the council is guilty of serious neglect of duty.
We are very shocked, disappointed, and extremely angry. We are the victims here. If the doctor said it was unfair for him, is it fair for us? Said the father at today's press conference. The couple had their son at the city's Baptist hospital in 2009. They suspect that an infection at birth that was not handled properly caused the child's brain damage and severe physical disabilities. The following year, they filed a complaint with the medical council against 2 doctors for professional misconduct. One case was dismissed in 2011. A hearing for the second doctor was finally scheduled for 2016, but was postponed at the doctor's request. The council then failed to set a new date for years, with the hearing only restarting this month. The council has now decided to permanently stay the proceedings, stating the years of delay had created an unfair disciplinary process for the doctor.
係絕對係嚴重嘅失職。
Tim Peng from Society for Community Organization, a human rights advocacy group, joined the family in questioning the council for dereliction of duty. He said they are not ruling out applying for a judicial review.
An infectious disease expert has flagged a medium risk of a citywide chikungunya outbreak, warning that the next 2 weeks are critical for detecting new cases and urging swift action to uncover hidden community transmission chains. Yeung reports.
Hong Kongers are bracing against chikungunya after a resident and a school janitor in Fung Tak Estate in Diamond Hill have both contracted the mosquito-borne disease. Taking to the airwaves, infectious disease expert Joseph Chung said the virus has an incubation period of around 2 weeks, with most symptoms appearing 3 to 7 days after infection. He called for immediate serological screening to uncover hidden transmission chains, which is the only way to reveal past exposures, even in people with mild symptoms who recovered unnoticed. Chung assessed the citywide outbreak risk as medium, citing inevitable imported cases from ongoing travel and trade with the mainland. He warned that local transmission could surge if an infected traveler is bitten during the incubation period, though cooler autumn weather may reduce mosquito activity. Meanwhile, the affected school has intensified mosquito control and suspended outdoor activities. Chung recommended daily temperature checks for students and free repellent supplies to keep transmission in check. Yeung, Cable News.
Filial descendants flocked to various cemeteries across the city for tomb sweeping on the Chung festival, but nearby vendors selling offerings reported lower sales in light of recent environmental policies. Evelyn Bai tells us more.
Families set out early, bringing flowers and offerings for their deceased loved ones and ancestors. At the Chaiwan Station public transport interchange, near the Cape Collinson Chinese Cemetery, police were seen on site to maintain order, but there were no long queues, leaving the meal barriers unnecessary. Access to the cemeteries was barred to private cars and taxis, requiring grave sweepers to either walk or use public transport to reach the site. This man expressed frustration, saying it was hard for him at this age to climb to the cemetery while carrying so many offerings. If he had known about the transport arrangements, he would not have come today. This elderly said he was so tired, but there were still over 100 steps to climb. This woman selling offerings in the area noted her quiet sales, and fewer people came to sweep tombs. She anticipated the business might get even less in the future. While environmental concerns are important, people now will only buy offerings during major festivals, she added. The Food and Environmental Hygiene Department set up collection zones where citizens can drop off joss paper for proper handling and to reduce air pollution. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
A fire has broken out on scaffolding at a construction site in Kai Tak, leading to the evacuation of around 200 workers.
The incident occurred around 10 this morning at a housing project near Concord Road, where a section of the external bamboo scaffolding suddenly caught alight. The flames spread from the lower levels to the higher floors, with thick smoke enveloping the entire structure. Fire crews quickly responded to the scene, getting the fire under control in about half an hour. All workers on site were able to evacuate to safety, with no injuries reported.
More than 60 individuals have been killed and 81 arrested in what was described as Brazil's largest law enforcement action in Rio de Janeiro.
Nearly 2,500 police officers and soldiers were dispatched to 2 favelas in Rio's northern suburbs on Tuesday to dismantle the stronghold of the Red Command crime gang. Multiple helicopters and armored vehicles were deployed to the area. Officers engaged in fierce gun battles with criminals. The gang responded with gunfire, burning barricades, and dropping bombs from drones. Police neutralized numerous suspects during the operation, seizing a large cache of firearms and over 200 kilograms of illicit drugs. 4 police officers lost their lives in the line of duty. Despite prior precautions including closing schools and medical centers and rerouting public transport, some residents were still unfortunately injured by stray bullets.
The Terracotta Warriors in Xi'an are one of China's most iconic treasures. The museum that houses the collection calls itself a hospital for these 2,000-year-old soldiers, piecing together broken fragments like a massive jigsaw puzzle to keep history alive. Often dubbed as the 8th wonder of the world, these warriors have already drawn more than 10 million visitors this year, with nearly 40% coming from abroad. Visitors can even try restoring one themselves. Yeung takes a closer look.
More than 8,000 life-sized warriors and horses stand in battle-ready ranks, sculpted over 2,200 years ago to guard the mausoleum of Qin Shi Huang, China's first emperor. Discovered half a century ago beneath the earth of Shanxi, they remained emblems of imperial ambition and unrivaled craftsmanship. Each figure was born of yellow clay blended with quartz, feldspar, and mica-rich sand. Heads, hands, and torsos were molded separately, then joined, air-dried, and fired at 1,000 degrees Celsius. Once hardened, they were painted in vivid hues, colors now faded but forever imagined. The national first great cultural relic was listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1987, a showcase of fine artistry and a guardian of cultural heritage. Visitor numbers have climbed every year since 2019, drawing travelers from every corner of the globe. Behind the mesmerizing display lies meticulous preservation work. This is not merely a museum, it is a hospital for 2,000-year-old clay soldiers who are fragile elders in need of care, said Museum Deputy Director Tian Jing. She stressed the importance of piecing together shattered fragments like a jigsaw puzzle, returning broken relics into completeness. Precision is key because nothing can go wrong when handling these ancient masterpieces, she added. Visiting the Terracotta Warriors Museum isn't just about staring at the exhibits. You can get your hands dirty and make your own pocket-sized warrior and take it home as a cherished souvenir. The workshop turns guests into conservators, offering a hands-on experience to grasp the value of restoring ancient treasures. Director of the museum's Social Education Department, Yeung explained that today's restorers are not just mending objects, but recreating history and culture. She emphasized the vital role this plays in teaching young people the value of conservation, breathing new life into ancient treasures. Yeung, Cable News.
On to the weather now. Mainly cloudy, 1 or 2 light rain patches in the morning and at night. Temperatures will range between 24 and 27 degrees tomorrow. Sunny intervals during the day. That's our news tonight. I'm Jeremy Zhu. Thanks for watching. Good night.